This episode of the WP Builds podcast is brought to you by GoDaddy Pro, the home of managed WordPress hosting that includes free domain, SSL, and 24/7 support. Bundle that with the Hub by GoDaddy Pro to unlock more free benefits to manage multiple sites in one place, invoice clients, and get 30% off new purchases. Find out more at go.me/WP Builds. Hello, Piccia.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello there, Piccia. How are you doing today?
I am very well. How are you, Nathan?
I'm good. Yeah, really good. It's a nice day in the UK today. We've got like 15 degrees centigrade. It's hotter than it usually is. I know. Look, I'm bathed in sunlight. It's very nice.
Amazing.
You are in a different.
Hot.
Yeah, you're in a different spot. You look like you've moved your studio around.
I probably have. I definitely did a while ago, because the thing is, we call this a monthly appointment in a world where months are like 4 or 5 months long, probably.
I reckon we're working on Jupiter time or something
we
like that.
We are definitely working on Jupiter.
A month in Jupiter time.
Yes.
Let's just give everybody who's watching this, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it on a replay or something like that, a little bit of orientation. Here's Piccia Neri. She is a UI UX expert, amongst other things. And the premise of this show is that we get submitted a URL or two, and then Piccia raises them onto the screen and then just has a little look at them. It's kind of like a blind test. So Piccia may well have spent ages looking at them, but in theory, she's allowed not to. And she just goes through and makes decisions and makes commentary on what she sees from a UI UX perspective. We sometimes dabble a little bit in accessibility, and also we dabble a little bit in deceptive design, aka dark patterns, and so there'll be a little bit of that today as well. If you are watching this and you fancy dropping in a comment, please do. That's, if you fancy it, that's great. I realize that most people who watch don't bother with all that, but if you want to, that'd be lovely. The best way to do that is probably to go to this URL, wpbuilds.com/live. If you fancy copying and pasting that into your social media platform of choice, feel free. If you go there, you need to be logged into Google because it's got YouTube comments on it. If you're watching it in a Facebook group or something like that, then we don't know who you are unless you do this little thing. You have to go to chat.restream.io/FB, and that will enable Facebook to tell us exactly who you are. So yeah, we got a couple of sites for you today, or at least Piccia has. I haven't seen them at all. I don't know whether you've spent any time perusing them, Piccia, or not.
So I just want to acknowledge Melanie's comment. Thank you so much, Melanie. She's saying that she always learns something when Piccia talks, and I am delighted to hear that. I absolutely do not take it for granted. The funny thing is that I learn stuff as well, and I'll show you how. So the two sites that we're going to look at today, I actually do know because I work with them in a couple of capacities. They're both really worthy initiatives for different reasons. So the websites belong to people that I really have a lot of time for. So that's why I'm doing them also, because honestly, reviews are the best thing that you can do, for especially reviews from someone that isn't involved with the project.
Right.
Reviewing it is the best thing that you could do, because, by the way, I also sell these reviews. I mean, obviously much deeper level, and the clients are always so happy, because when you work on something too closely, you suffer from so-called proximity blindness, and you can't see the woods for the trees. True. Which is an expression that took me ages to understand. Now I get it. You can't see the woods, the forest, for the trees, because you look at the details, so you can't see the bigger picture. That's what it means.
Exactly.
If any non-native English speaker is watching, that's what it means. And it goes, the other one that took me ages, and I was like, sorry, it's just too stupid, was have your cake and eat it. And I was like, well, if you're eating it, you're having it. So it was like, what on earth does this mean? And now I got it. So basically that's what the equivalent Italian saying is terrible and very sexist, but It's basically it is. It's just one of those things that you listen, you hear it now and you go, really? And it's about keeping the wine barrel still full of wine, but the wife is drunk. So it's the same thing as having your cake and eating it. So there you go. Anyway, huge digression because we always do this. We
Well, we do.
always
We're good at the
digress.
digression.
Yeah,
What is there in life apart from digression? Really, it's the
absolutely.
best bits.
Yeah.
I'll just raise the URLs quickly on the screen. You might want to get your screen shared.
Yes.
We never did that.
I
So
definitely want to do that.
two sites today, and I don't know if we're going to do these in the order I'm going to show them on the screen, but you might want to, if you're watching this, you might want to get them lined up.
Yeah.
We've got intrepidenglish.co.uk. That's one of them. And another one is going to be supportinclusionintech.com.
Yeah.
And then you never know, if there's a little bit of time left over at the end, then we might look at another one called deceptive.design, which is the sort of dark patterns one. Your screen share's gone away. And there it is. There it is. Let me see if I can raise that. I can see that. Hopefully you can see that picture. That looks perfect to me. We're looking at support inclusion in tech. So I'll stick the URL up at the bottom of the screen and away you go.
So here we are. This website is the initiative of the wonderful Winstina Hughes, who doesn't even work with WordPress. Is just involved in the community, has given a number of talks, and she's completely committed to making the speakers cohorts more inclusive, because there is a certain bias, I'm afraid, Nathan. There is a bias, and that keeps being a bias. I'm watching with interest the speakers being announced at WordCamp Europe, and definitely, I'm still hoping it will improve. So what this initiative does is, because as you probably most people who are involved with WordPress know, when you are accepted as a speaker at a WordCamp, you're responsible for your own transport and accommodation when you go to the conference, and you don't get paid either. I won't get started on what I think about this.
I know.
I won't do that, Nathan. I won't do it. I won't do it. So this initiative, I mean, it always existed most of the time. So I have self-funded a few of my WordCamp talks, but mostly it was either Cloudways when I was working with Cloudways, and Yoast a lot of the time. Thank you, Yoast, so much. They have a diversity fund. Make sure that you, if you're a minority in tech, that would be a woman, person of color, disabled, LGBT. There's all the various minorities. They all like that. You've changed.
It's a bit bigger,
something.
isn't it? I just flicked a button. I thought that would be better.
It's good. That's great. We like it. So you qualify. So if you qualify, I mean, being a female is enough, really, but there's lots more diversity types that are that people actively want to be more represented. I firmly and very strongly believe in representation. There's a heap of research that proves that representation is all that matters. If you see someone that looks like you doing something, it will be natural for you to do it. If you don't, it won't be natural. That is why we still have never had a woman president of the United States and so on. Anyway, again, I won't. I feel like I'm about to get on my soapbox. I do that, so I'll stop here. However, this wonderful initiative, and also I was also sponsored by Master WP, Rob Howard. So thank you so much. And that's what Winstina did for me. She when I went to WordCamp Bangkok, she paired me with the right sponsors. That's what she does. Why have I gone so big?
I have no idea. I seem to have clicked the button.
I do not want to be that big.
Press that one. Okay. There
we go. So she what you do is you fill in a form on the website, and she will what are you doing?
I'm trying to fix. I clicked a button completely by accident, and now I'm trying to fix the mistake I've made. So you keep talking. I'll try and mend what I've done wrong.
Okay. So again, why is it me this big? Because this program doesn't have the retouch The Zoom retouch. I don't want my high def. Okay,
How's that?
yeah, that is better.
There we
That's
go.
perfect. Don't
Fixed.
touch anything. This is
No.
great. Don't touch anything. Okay, cool. So you go, you get it, you get accepted to a WordCamp. You go, you fill in the form. Winstina will get in touch and she will pair you with sponsors, because there are lots more people. Like, I only knew about the Yoast Diversity Fund, but there are loads more people, companies, organizations within the WordPress microcosm that will sponsor you to go and speak at a WordCamp. So do go to this website. Now, you know what's the first thing that I look at? Do you remember? We have
Well,
not
you
done it
like
for
to
so long.
know what to do. You know, if you
I
like
do
to be
indeed.
told to do something, if you like. What should I do?
Yeah. And there isn't anything here that does that. So Winstina said to me, because I do know this site, often I don't, but I do know, that she really wanted to have this here, supporting underrepresented speakers with WordCamp expenses, which is exactly what the website does. And here she explains, there's a question and answer. Who are underrepresented speakers? They come from around the world, or member of diverse groups, and so on. So this is a really useful explanation. But it's not welcoming me. So I would recommend and it doesn't give me anything to do. It's a little bit overworked. So I think personally that I won't comment on the logo. I would recommend the logo to be simpler, very briefly, and to avoid script, like handwritten typefaces wherever possible, because they are not that legible, so they're not that accessible. However, I would make that really quite a bit smaller, because you're saying it already on the top left. I actually, funny enough, I used to be a brand designer. I've worked with brand a lot. I've
Yeah.
designed loads of logos. I actually believe that the logo doesn't matter really. The way it's written up there was fine. So it's kind of, there's a repetition there. You don't really need the logo. What you need is for people to take action. And the question, I think that it could be, it needs thinking. It's not something that you solve in a 10-minute review, but something like, are you are you a WordCamp speaker from an underrepresented group in
Yeah.
tech?
Yeah.
Something like that. And then a button that takes you straight to the form. So, and I think it's important, absolutely, to say, so this could be a strap line here under the logo up here. I would have the logo just once, and I would have it up to the left. And then once you do that, you will soon see that when you make this logo smaller, you don't really get much of it, because there's lots of detail. So, and then have this supporting underrepresented speaker with WordCamp expenses down here below, as a paragraph below the logo on the top left. And absolutely have this, and then receive. So because this is actually below the fold, this is what matters. Receive WordCamp travel expense support is what matters, and it's too low. And here, see, there are global partners: GoDaddy, PostStatus, Yoast, and Master WP, Wiglot, Gravity Forms, Paid Memberships Pro. There's loads of people willing to help you if you want to go to a WordCamp. I know actually of more than these. So don't think that you can't go. Please ask. So I hope that my cache is cleared, because this takes, so it's not working actually. Anyway, there's something else that I would probably say. What is it, Nathan? What am I going to say
well,
next?
typically you talk.
Actually.
Oh, and there it is. It's just it's just loaded.
Yeah, sorry.
You are going to talk about aligning things to the left, but I can't see I mean, the logo doesn't align to the left, but is it menu items? It's menus. Okay, right.
Well, it's menu items. They don't align to the left. But more than that is, let's count the typographies on this.
Oh, okay. So we've
page.
got, what have we got?
There's like one typeface here, which I believe is I think it could
looks
be
like
Montserrat,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The logo has
3
2 more. Yeah. I mean, the support inclusion is the same typeface, and then there's the third one.
Okay.
And then here, Actually, this has changed slightly. It was a different typeface, but I mean, it's a fourth one. This is a fifth one.
That
Fifth
could
one,
be
fifth one.
Montserrat again, couldn't it? That one there. No, maybe not.
Here, no, I think
No,
it's
no, you're right.
capital,
Yeah.
capital Arial, because there was a misunderstanding. So this is not, because what we see here is a default. It's just a serif. It's like Times New Roman.
Yep,
It's
yep.
a fallback typeface. There were different typefaces. There was actually a typeface that I really liked. But I asked to be reverted back to the many typefaces, because otherwise there's no point to having the review.
Okay.
So it doesn't look exactly what it looked like before. So unify the typefaces for sure. Also, I have a slight issue because where's your heading one? Let me just check where the heading one is. Actually, I don't need to do this. I can just check with so zero contrast errors, which is great. Now this wave accessibility evaluation tool is just a very vague indicator, because it doesn't pick up on a lot of things, and it picks up on things that don't really matter. So that's not, but it's really useful because it will tell me what the H1 is. So the H1 is support inclusion in tech. This one, I guess, the logo.
Okay.
Or the logo on the top. I can't see where it is. Yeah, because it's at the top. It's above the navigation.
Yeah, it'll be the word in the top left then.
And then
H2
is thank you, global partners. So a screen reader would find it hard to make sense of this. What is this page about? They wouldn't know. So because what a screen reader does is it gathers the headings first to work out what the page is about. So support inclusion in tech, yeah, H1, fine. That's the name of the website. But this, actually, so these are, so missing alternative text. You always should put alternative text. But so this supporting underrepresented speakers with work on expenses really should be a heading 2. And it looks like it's not, and it should be.
It's a block quote as well, doesn't it?
Exactly. It looks like a block quote. I don't know if it actually is a block quote. Yeah, it is a block quote. And this is not a block quote. It should be a heading. And then I don't know if you need to say question and answer. You just need to make this a heading, and then the paragraph says what it is, and absolutely say something. All you need is a sentence about the fact that support inclusion in tech was created to help underrepresented speakers with work and expenses, because work camps are not paid for conferences. You don't get anything. And then thank you, global partners. Thank you can definitely be a heading 3 at that point. It doesn't need to be a heading 2 for sure. Are they? I don't know if it didn't say that they lack alt text. So even if you have a logo, it has to have alt text.
Yeah.
Because again, that tells the screen reader what the image is. Otherwise, the screen reader has no way of knowing what the image is. And then you haven't done your global partners any favors, because and then here, I actually really like this menu. I mean, ideally, you would have some hover effect on the menu, which you don't have. So one thing that I find always really odd, and it's a WordPress thing, I never know. So where am I supposed to go? Am I supposed to go to steps for support or apply for support? What's the page? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to know
weird.
whether the top level one is a menu. And
Yeah.
if it's not a menu, it doesn't really have any business being there, does it? It should be the one beneath it.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. So I would say, actually, I'm going to go back, sorry, because the logical thing to do now, if I were a speaker, would be to receive WordCamp travel expense support. I hope it's not already filled, because so this is the speaker registration form. So these are the funds here are resolving. They are resolving the way they should. They weren't in the homepage, but they are. So I can't tell when. So again, there's a bit of a mishmash of typefaces, because there's this and there's this, and I think that this is a different typeface, but it's hard to work out, because when I go to inspect, this is an Elementor website, I think, and therefore it uses the global settings, and I can't tell what the typeface is. Maybe it's my limitation that I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
So I can't tell if the heading is the same typeface as the body or not. I can't tell, but I can tell that this is, and there's no need. These two, the heading and the body, look different enough that you don't need to have a third typeface here, even though it does look nice, doesn't look terrible. But so you shouldn't have floating labels inside the field. So it's a drop down menu. Okay, so I don't know how.
We actually can't see the drop down. That's a limitation of the platform that we've got.
So there's a drop down here
Okay.
that tells you my language does not have gender pronouns or otherwise she, her, he, him, they, them. This is sort of
okay.
it's nice because it's inclusive, but maybe is that enough? Because it could say I don't want to say that the yeah, okay, she's asking for preferred pronoun. She's not asking for gender, which is something that always sets me off. Why do you need to know? She's actually asking for preferred pronoun, which is the best thing that you can do, because then if someone doesn't, looks away, but then doesn't want to be, at least you know how to refer to people.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. Welcome, accepted to speak at. This is all quite clear. I'm not going to go into detail because it's already.
Good
Yeah,
grief,
we don't have that much
past,
time. Yeah. I know. So what type of financial support? I really want to give this project the time that it deserves. So I would say that this looks quite. So again, I would not put these questions in caps, because there are two problems with this. First of all, Montserrat has very, very wide tracking, which is the distance between characters. It's really wide. It makes it hard to read. And also, using all caps is problematic. It's hard to read for people who have dyslexia. It's generally harder to read unless it's like a couple of words. And also, it may cause problems with screen readers, because even in case you've coded it correctly, rather than just pressing the lock caps key, even when you coded it correctly, some screen readers may still read it as an acronym. No, it's just so all caps is problematic, so it's best avoided. And there's no need to use a different typeface. Why would you do that? It creates visual clutter. And this website is really nice because it's so clean. I really like that. So let's keep it clean and use this typeface and that typeface, which is really nice. I like that typeface. Again, there's a drop-down menu. I don't know. I have not tested this with a keyboard. You just have to make sure that this can be used with a keyboard. There's in the WordPress community, because I know that Winstina is going to watch this. She can't now, but she's going to watch it. There's Alex Stein in the WordPress community that I'm sure will be happy to just test whether this is accessible on a keyboard or not. Otherwise, I can help. So it's connected to Michelle and Ali Nimon's database, which is an underrepresented in tech profile. And you need to do that to create a profile there. So again, I like very much that you've got a save and continue later thing, and that you can decide if you are happy to talk about the fact that you're receiving sponsorship or not. I've always been happy to talk about it, but if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to, and therefore they're asking. So they're really, really doing their best to think about people's sensitivities. Now here, we need a hover style. We need a difference. When you hover on the button, I need to know it's interactive. And here, same, because also it doesn't even look like a button. So yes, make them look different, but use different hover effects. Okay, so apply for support. So that's the thing. So what's in steps for support? Ooh, okay, no. This is it's very hard to read. So Why center this? Do not center it. So I like the fact that that is quite narrow, because it makes it really easy on mobile. It's unfussy and so on. But this, the heading is lower than the text, and so it's centered. It looks like it's
Yeah,
centered
yeah, yeah, yeah.
vertically,
Yeah.
as well as I just want to see what's the heading one. So
Yeah, it's
missing
centered
all text
horizontally and vertically within the cell, isn't it? Within
structure.
the table cell,
So we
yeah.
want to make this, so skipping headings. You can't go from H1 to
H1 to
H4. That's
H4.
really confusing and bad for SEO. And also you have to consider that even though you do, I understand why you want to say we want to make this simple, but that's not the heading of the page, is it? The page is about the steps for support. So call it steps for support. That's your heading one. And then you can say, we want to make this as simple as possible, but do say it, but it's not the title, in my opinion. It's the steps for support. So, and this is, sorry, I'm just gonna, so these are, style them. So these are probably not headings. Anyway, I won't go into detail, but the heading one needs to be different. Definitely aligned to the left, and definitely aligned to the top.
Yeah, I rarely
as well.
suffer from the things that you highlight. In other words, I can see it and read it, but I can understand. But that one actually got me. I saw that and
Yeah.
I was immediately like, "Ooh, no."
No.
Yeah, it feels like if you spread the heading, we want to make this simple, just horizontally over the whole thing, and then all the other text underneath it, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, already that looks nicer, doesn't it? When you've
Already
just
it's better, but you
yeah
need to also align to
to
the
the
top,
top. Yeah,
and not, because that's not very readable either.
no,
When it's just two words, when the lines are there is such a thing as too short a line.
yeah,
And I understand why this is happening. I think it's because she's got a very small
yeah,
grid. She's
yeah.
using a very small grid, so that's why. But that's definitely the other thing that I would absolutely do. And then really quickly,
Ooh.
same here. You know how I feel. I just can't be behind
Central line. But
center
what a
text.
change! What a contrast in the text size from that to the previous page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make it. So why make it H5? This really needs to be a H1, because supporting inclusion in tech is proud to support 10 speakers or 10 organizers. Maybe change it, but you don't have a heading one for this. You don't have a heading one, so you need a heading one.
Yep.
Really. Round one, cohort one speakers.
Can I ask you a question about the text that we're looking at there? The line height. What's your thoughts about that? Do you find that to be too spread out, or is that about
Yeah,
where you like it?
it's a little bit too high for
It is
me,
for
and
me.
I would
Yeah.
definitely make the typeface bigger as well.
Hmm.
This is borderline problematic, if not straight on problematic, I think. What's the size? Again, it doesn't say, because but yeah. So I would say that make it bigger. And then the about page I wanted to comment, because it doesn't tell me what it is about, really. Does it? It doesn't.
No,
This
I'm
is a
not sure where
list
to
of,
begin there. To be honest, I'm not
exactly.
sure.
So again, so then we find out here, but it's really confusing. Also, you've got such a tiny grid. Don't do 3 columns. Keep it 1 column. And this project, so this needs to be the first paragraph. This project is an extension of Wistina's WordPress contribution. So
Yeah.
this needs to be the beginning up here, a paragraph taking up the whole of the grid. And then the rest can be, find out more in these publications, something like that. And then at the end, I would even say, this is what I've done for WordPress so far, which is impressive.
Yeah, it
Really
really
impressive.
is. Well done, Bettina.
Really impressive. Yeah. So let me just, what's here? Okay. No.
That just links away to an external site.
Yeah. Why would you have that? I'm not sure, because it doesn't actually help I understand why you do it, because you love WordPress, but here you want people to know about your project. It's not about someone else's project. It's about your project. So I would keep people here. And Winstina, happy to talk again. I think speaker directory. So
Oh, I
that's
wonder if
what's
that's
really
Michelle's.
odd.
That linking off
No,
to an external site as well, or is that just a null link that doesn't
nothing is
go anywhere?
happening.
Okay.
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 So, ooh, that's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just a bunch of comments on a post, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not. I think these are entries from the form.
Okay.
I would not be comfortable with, even though I'm completely comfortable with for people to know that I've been sponsored. I would not. So I think this is my entry. I don't want that there. I don't want for people to know what I asked for, what I, do you know what I mean? These are it's not a speaker directory. It's the entries to the form. Luckily, I
Yeah.
don't think you can go any further. This is all you see.
If
But
you
take it out.
if yeah, that's I mean, there are no names attached, so at least it's anonymized in that sense, but that does seem like a GDPR snafu there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's not a speaker list either. So,
No. No.
so I
Okay.
think yeah, that's all we've got time for
Plenty for
because
Winstina
we've
to get
got
her teeth into with that one, I think.
yeah, and we can have a chat with Stina when you watch this after you watch this. Now, let me Intrepid English. So this is the site of that I am actually rebuilding, and I have. I might have to sneeze.
Oh, it's okay. Shall I mute you? I shall mute you. It would look like a good one though. That was worth. Oh, any more coming? No, go
No,
on.
that's fine. But
I muted you.
you know when also you think, okay, it may not happen, it should
Yes,
happen, but it may not happen
yes.
anyway. So this is a it's actually a website that I am rebuilding. So I do know this one, but I think it's a really interesting case because Winstina's site she built up herself without being a web designer. That's not her job. So she's done an amazing job. This website is for this online language school called Intrepid English, and it's a typical case of a website that was created, say, 10 years ago, and uh, it's known some organic growth, so to speak. So it's a
Uh-huh.
really interesting case because it had I don't know how many. It had like I think as many as 3 page builders on it
Oh.
because people were just like adding them and things like because it has a members area that is actually on a separate URL, but the previous I don't know who'd done it, but someone had moved everything to the members URL, but then which is behind a paywall, but they hadn't actually taken the courses away from this URL.
Oh.
So
Oh.
in
It was all
fact,
available.
all the courses were available at some point. Then it didn't, they were taken out. So, but it's that kind of thing, and because it's a big site with loads going on. And what do you think I would say here? Because it isn't aligned to the left. It wasn't. They changed
Well,
it.
you need something to do, right? Speak English with confidence. You're not
You need
being
something to
given
do.
something to do, right?
No, you're not given anything to do, which you will be in the next one. And then also another thing is that the text on the image is going to be problematic because when I resize this
Yeah.
window, it's going to go on the lady's face. So text on an image, there is an overlay below, but it's not enough, is it? It's just you know what I always say is
Yeah.
like it's either about the image or it's about the text. If the text is more important, then don't have the image. Just don't have it. It's not necessary. So there's no need to do too much. In fact, often we need to do as little as possible. Then again, look how many typefaces we've got here. So here we've got it's not Montserrat, it's the other one. Is it
Is it
railway? I
railway?
think
Looks
I
like
think it's
railway.
railway.
Yeah.
I think this might be an elemental page, so they're probably not going to tell us either. Oh, look, it's an inline style.
Mm.
It is railway. Yeah, it is railway. But it's also got an accessibility issue, because this green that they love, that Lorraine Love, who's the founder of the school, is just not accessible. It breaks my heart, but it's basically hardly ever accessible. So this is a contrast error, definitely not accessible with white on top at almost any size, because I was thinking maybe we can use it. We can use very big, chunky white text on a big title against that beautiful green, but it's just not accessible even then. So 28 contrast errors, which this is all. And also Lorraine cares a lot about accessibility, so we are rebuilding something that is much more accessible. But in terms, so we got railway here in members area, a different typeface for Intrepid
different
English.
color as well, different blue, isn't it? We've got a dark blue and a pale blue.
And but the menu is a different typeface again.
Yep.
So the thing about the logo looking different, a different green, is that it's probably the same green, but when you export from Photoshop or any other program, there's always a variation. You will not get the same color, even if it's you using the same hex code and so on. It won't be the same color. And again, if you were to see it on a different browser, again, it wouldn't look the same. That's why, do you remember what my Bangkok talk, what the title was? Probably not, because you
I
weren't there.
forget now.
Only
I
you,
wasn't there. Yeah.
only your cardboard
Only my
effigy was there.
cardboard cutout. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The title of my Bangkok talk, which is on YouTube, WordCamp Asia, was "Color is an Opinion," and I firmly believe that it's fairly pointless, because nobody's going to see it. It's going to look different depending on so many variables, and nobody's going to see it the way you see it or feel the way you feel about your favorite color. So it really doesn't matter so much. But I think that it shows that this on why it just, doesn't, not strong enough. So too many typefaces, and we are sorting that out. Now here we've got, I'm just going to check. So one thing the Wave tool is really good for is the structure. So speak English with confidence, that's good. So we've got two heading ones, because I think maybe WordPress does that automatically. For the homepage, it gives it the name of the site, because it's a homepage. So it's automatically a heading one. So speak English with confidence, suddenly you have two heading ones, which is not good.
You typically have to sort of disable the title or something like that.
So
in which
we'll
case
do
that might
yeah.
need to be done. Yeah.
So do you feel nervous about speaking English? Is a good. I'm surprised it's not marked as
a color contrast problem.
Yeah, because definitely in the contrast checker, this does not pass master. Also because, and this is something that the tool doesn't pick up on, it's very thin. This version, it's big enough, but it's very thin, this typeface. And this version of Railway that we're using here. So there are people with certain types of vision issues that would not see it that easily. And here, center text, why? No reason. And it's a very, very, very long line.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Yeah.
Very long line. So one of the things that we're sorting here is that here you do have something to do, but then, and it looks like these are the 3 steps, but they're not really. So we're sorting out the user journey here. And again, we won't have all these images with text on top, because they're virtually illegible. I can't really read it. Again, you're trying to do too much. You don't need that. You need for people to know where to go. So that's the important thing, is book a trial lesson, choose your membership, or access the members area. So you don't really need the photo underneath. So and again, this is very tiny for me. I can barely read it. And I think so, it's really strange. Where does it see the contrast errors?
Yeah, you did have one earlier. It was in the menu item right at the top of the site. There was a button.
So these, okay, so it definitely is saying that the green on this gray is a contrast error. So there's another accessibility error here, which is that the links are not underlined. People who can't see color, there's not enough differentiation. You always need to underline links. Basically, you need to. Again, here it doesn't. Contrast checker, every contrast checker says that you can't have the white on here, but the wave tool, the white on this teal color is not accessible. So strange that it doesn't come up, but yeah, but never mind. Good. And then sorry, I'm just gonna turn it off.
Turn it off, yeah.
So these are the main things, really. But the main thing for me with this site was to tidy it up and to give something to do immediately and to redefine the user journey. Always ask yourself, what do you want people to do? This is already, I know that here they were trying to simplify, but actually if I clicked and went, you would see that it's not an easy journey at all. So we're doing that. So the first thing that you always, whenever you're building a site, give people something to do at the top, because you need to ask yourself, why are people coming to see my site? What do I want from them? And what is the best thing for them? You have to find that sweet spot where the business goals coincide with the user's needs. And when you have a really clear mission, that's not that difficult. And the thing is with Intrepid English, that they are a brilliant online language school. They're quite unique in what they do, because they are hand-picked teachers. You don't get, there are lots of language schools that have like thousands of teachers so it's very impersonal. It's people only ever end up picking the teachers that come at the top. But this is completely different, because these are all the teachers that you have. There's like 10, maybe 12, 11 teachers, and there isn't, that's it. They're handpicked. So you're always going to have the same teacher. It's an academy. It's an online academy with lots of self-study courses as well, but it really is different for that. And their mission is to empower people with English. That's why they have students in all countries, because they really want to make a difference for people. That's the main mission. So what they want people to do is to book a trial lesson.
Right, that button.
Once people have booked a trial lesson, they usually come on board, because it's very affordable. There are many different plans, and they're all really affordable, and you get a lot with them. So that's what we are going to get them to do, Nathan.
It kind of feels like in the menu at the top, the try a free course should be the button, the blue, the highlighted button, whereas the members area should just be a regular link, if you know what I mean. If you really want people to try the free course, swap those around, maybe.
But they don't, that's not, so the free, so again, language used was another thing that we really talked a lot about, because it's confusing, because I thought the same as you, but book a trial lesson is not the same thing as try a free course, because a free course is a self-study course and it's static. So it always sits there. It doesn't change. It's a pre-recorded course. A trial lesson is a live lesson with a teacher that tells you what to expect from the school, and it prepares a personalized path for you. So that's something else that makes a difference, that makes this a really different school, because it empowers people, because it puts your success at the center. It's just that I've been working on it today, and the copy is really good. It's just like we're focusing on your success, something like that, and it's done with a personalized study plan.
Oh, that's
So
all really interesting to know, isn't it? If you get that personal touch, I think you're far
yeah,
more likely to
yeah,
to get involved, knowing that it's not just some sort of cookie cutter
exactly,
course. Yeah, yeah, that's
exactly.
interesting. Ah, thank
So
you.
this is getting super simplified as well, because once you, I mean, you look at this and you go, wow, we are definitely trying to say way too much. So the rule of thumb always is don't make them think. You
Keep
know
it
this.
simple.
So are we not, no, you're not seeing the,
We don't
you
see the
saw,
inspector or any of
no,
the
no,
sort of.
not the inspector. This is the page that I was on, but I opened it as a tab. So when you have a pricing table, make it as easy as possible, because the only thing that's clear here really is the price. And that's really clear. But
Mm.
then once I got to studying this to redesign it, I realized that the only real difference between all the plans is the number of hours that you get with your teacher.
Oh, right, yeah.
This
Everything
one to one,
else looks the same, doesn't
that's
it? Yeah,
the
yeah.
only difference. And I think, the things like the value per month, those are things that it just doesn't matter. You can say it, but this here is just super confusing. So we're totally changing that and simplifying it massively. So bear that in mind, make things as easy as possible, because what's the mantra, Nathan? What's the mantra? The
Uh,
mantra is
uh, I don't know.
don't make me
Oh, don't
think.
make me think. Yeah, Krog,
So
Krog.
here that exactly Steve Krug, the book is Don't Make Me Think. For those who haven't uh, read it yet, just read it, is my recommendation. Now, I have done something wrong in this review, Nathan. I've done
Oh,
it wrong. I tell you what I've done wrong. So I have recently been working with and receiving coaching, speaking lessons, coaching for speaking by Lazar Bulatovic, who's going to speak at Work of Europe. And he's blind from birth and has been using a screen reader since 2004. So as he was coaching me, teaching me how to be a better speaker, I realized that I had already actually started doing it, but I've been doing it like really making a point of it. When he tells me, when he says, now make up a speech on this, I have to not use images because he won't see them.
yeah,
So even if there is an image on the screen, I need to talk about it in such a way that someone who's maybe listening to this as a podcast understands what I'm talking about. And my in the Bangkok talk, I really try, and it was a talk on color, but I really made a point of thinking, okay, I have lots of images, but if someone listens to this talk, they need to understand it even without the images. I don't know if I succeeded, but with the UX Copenhagen talk that I did back in March, wow, I can't believe it was already March. Anyway, I really, you can listen to that talk and it won't make any difference.
oh,
But I am not saying now the image on the screen. There's fishes because I did have fishes, and there's a beach. I didn't do that. I just talked about the
cracked
images
on.
in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
way
yeah, yeah.
that was seamless, and I haven't, and I always try to do that now, and I haven't done it this time.
No,
Because
that's
it's
interesting.
not. I
It's
haven't
not
done
easy.
it.
It's not easy when you're doing it in a non pre-prepared way. When it's
Yeah,
pre-prepared, you can sort of hijack your muscle
yeah,
memory for writing and get all of those crucial
yeah.
things down. Whereas when you're doing it live, you revert to old habits, don't you? Which is just to say
Exactly.
what you see. Um,
So that's a huge accessibility point that anyone listening or watching this, if you do any public speaking, any any show like this one, because I used to do loads of online talking, I don't really anymore. So bear that in mind. What about people that can't see what you do? Because nobody talks about this. You have to describe what's on the screen. Otherwise, people are screwed. They can't. And who told me this? Bud. He's a in the WordPress community, and he's registered blind, and he is in the New York, I think.
Is it
I
Bud
think that's where I
Kraus?
met.
Is it him?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's Bud Kraus. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Bud, if you watch this and I've forgotten because I'm old. But yes, that's him. And he said, there's an image on screen. People just carry on talking. All they have to do is tell me what is there, and I will know. And other, it just ruins everything.
It's kind of
And
interesting being a podcaster primarily. We do this show on Monday, and we constantly put things on the screen, and I do try, because I realize that most of the people are not watching it; they're listening to it after the fact. And so I do try to say, okay, we're now looking at this, but it's habit. You just sort of gloss over it and forget about it. Yeah, so good point. Good issue to
yeah, I
raise.
really recommend that people start doing this. I really do. And I'm sorry I didn't do it today.
Next time,
It
Peacher.
was wrong. Next time I will
Next
make it.
time.
I just need to remind myself is what I need to do.
Or
Really.
I can try and remind you if you remind
Yeah.
me to remind you. it's,
Yes. Yes.
a
Absolutely.
reflective loop. So,
It
are
is.
you happy with that one? Do you think we've got time to look at the deceptive design site?
I think we've got 5 minutes.
Not from a
Haven't
UI
we?
UX perspective, but just from it's
No.
an interesting place to visit, isn't it?
So that's but just
Oof.
we always talk about deceptive patterns. And unfortunately, my talk wasn't accepted at WordCamp Europe, but I was really looking forward to doing it because it was all about deceptive patterns and ethical design and things like that. And there are things that are ethical online, there are things that are not ethical. This man here is Harry Brignall. He's a Brit. This man here we're looking at the homepage of the
Well
new
done.
website
Well
for
done.
deceptive patterns. There are a few images on the screen, and the one on the bottom right is Harry Bricknell, who's the first one to start talking about dark patterns, now known as deceptive patterns or deceptive design, because people didn't with a darker skin tone didn't like the fact that dark patterns was associated with something negative. So they were like, we please find a new term? And it was found. So that's what it's called now. And so it's a new website because it had an old site on for a long time, and I love it. It's really good because it's got all the types of deceptive pattern. Deceptive patterns are tricks used in websites and apps that make you do things that you didn't mean to.
Oh, it's
And
horrible.
it's horrible. And there are so many, and they're there all the time. And so these are all the types. We're looking at comparison prevention, confirm shaming, which is when people just go, are you sure you don't want to get the coolest download ever? Do you want to be a sado and not get this?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Those people think they're being funny is great. It isn't. Disguised
Yeah, they
ads.
sort of say they phrase the question in terms of, you are a bit of a loser if you click on this button. Are you sure you don't want to miss out on this cool deal? All the cool kids are doing it. That kind of thing. It's weird. It never works on me, that one. I just think,
Ah, it
I'm not
works on
that.
me as in
Yeah,
it makes
triggers
me
you. Yeah.
furious. Fake scarcity, fake social proof, fake urgency, forced action, hard to cancel. Hard to cancel is really something that Apple was very guilty of. You didn't know you'd signed up to an app, and then you didn't know how to cancel it. It used to take me ages to work out how to cancel it. My nephew once spent 500 euros without knowing. I couldn't even blame him. It's like, anyway, they gave it back to me. Nagging, obstruction, pre-selection, sneaking, trick wording, visual interference. But my favorite page on this website is the Hall of Shame.
Oh,
I love
nice.
the Hall of Shame.
Oh, here we go.
So this is, for instance, one that I hate. User cannot unsubscribe from marketing emails without accepting cookie tracking.
Oh, for
I
goodness
have to
sake.
accept all cookies in order to unsubscribe from IBKR marketing emails, interactive brokers. So there are so many here. I love them. I love them.
Oh, I
They're so
I went through
interesting.
a process cancelling a WordPress plugin not that long ago, and it was
You hated it.
absolutely torture.
Was
I
it?
won't mention who, but yeah, it was about 8 pages of just madness. Um, wow, Trump's got his own section. Is that Trump
Trump
as
has
in?
got. So I just clicked on the Trump because there's a filter on the left with all the various brands that are in the Hall of Shame,
Oh, that's
and
brand, is it? Okay.
one of them is Trump. So, an opinion poll on Trump's website contains a deceptive request for a donation.
Wow, with recurring monthly
With
payments
recurring
selected.
monthly repayments pre-selected.
Yeah, those kind of things are really widespread, aren't they? The thing that benefits the business is pre-selected. I have to say, since GDPR, I have noticed that that really has taken a bit of a nosedive. Now, I think most people realise that you can't opt people into things. You know, like when you're filling out a form, a regular form,
Yeah.
and the box to subscribe to their newsletter 5 years ago would always have been pre-ticked and you had to untick it. I'm noticing more now that everybody is at least getting the
Yeah.
picture to untick those. You got to opt into that, not be opted in by default.
Yeah, but the overwhelming majority of websites get GDPR completely wrong, including mine, just because I'm lazy and I haven't changed the plugin and I need to do it. But usually, so basically, and Google has already been fined for this. The
Mm,
rule is that opting out has to be as easy as opting in.
right.
So usually, most websites have, okay, I accept the cookies, but they have cookie selection, and you have to click on that, and that's completely wrong because no, it has to be yes or no. That's it. I don't have to be working for this. And some terrible websites actually have all the cookie options, all the tracking selected, and you need to go
One at a
manually
time.
through
Yeah.
one at a time. And I think the one is Forbes.
Oh,
Give it a
if it
try.
is Forbes, it's insane.
It's
Uh,
insane. I think it is Forbes.
the
So that,
list is
oh my
literally like
God.
9 pages of things
So
to.
it's gonna go. So there you go. So it's completely obscuring my view. You can't see it because there's our faces on top. So
Oh,
there's a
I can
white.
make that change. Hold
No,
on, let me
don't
check.
do that. Okay.
Oh.
Manage preferences. It's on the bottom right. Two white buttons. One is accept all cookies and privacy settings and so on. And the other one, the button on the left, is manage preferences. If I click, so accept all is one click. That's it. Manage preferences. Look how.
Oh, sorry.
What am I
There we go.
even
There we go.
looking at?
There we
Okay,
go.
what am I even looking at? So that it's actually no, it's improved because it didn't used to be like this. It used now we've got a reject all here, which
Yeah.
is fine. It's still one click too many, but it's all right. What I meant earlier is that when you go into each of the toggles for the
Oh, there were like 10 more toggles inside each one,
there were
wasn't there?
10 more toggles and they're all selected, and you need to go every single one because there's no reject all button. And a lot of websites do this. And that is wrong, people. That is absolutely wrong. It has to be, and also reject all is actually not doing anything. Oh, submit. So look, reject all. I click on it. It doesn't do anything. I do not know whether I've activated that or
Okay,
not.
so
And that
they
the
are
only
rejected.
thing
Yeah,
is
okay.
submit.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
how do I know? It's just bad. So I see so many websites that I would say 95% of the websites get this wrong. Also, this here, now you've learned the word vestibular disorder. You've
Yeah, I
learned
know
what
it now. I
vestibular
know what it
disorders
means.
are.
Yes.
So you know what it means. If people don't know what your vestibular system is your inner area and everything that has to do with balance and
Balance.
dizziness
Yeah.
and so on. My UX Copenhagen talk was all about this. This number, there's a number on the screen, a number of readers reading now, I imagine, that's constantly changing, and it's making me sick. It's literally making me sick. Why do you have it? Do I care? No, I do not care. It doesn't improve my experience in any way. And I have to scroll down because it will make me sick because it
That's
just
so
doesn't stop. It
interesting.
changes.
Yeah.
No,
Is
it
there a certain
literally.
level at which you are really in trouble? It's like, get me out of here. And I know you
Oh,
didn't
I'm
enjoy that,
already in
but
trouble.
oh,
But
really?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you one of the examples actually be quite fun. One of the examples that I use in this UX Copenhagen talk is a email for the WordPress Granada meetup. that has, and he's still doing it. I need to speak to him. These are friends, I know them. And whenever they announce a meetup, he puts like 6 gifs in it.
Okay.
It just, and you can't stop them because they're in an email.
in a
You can't
GIF.
stop them.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
absolutely pointless. They've nothing. They've got nothing to do. It's not even funny. And I'm like, right, okay. So I won't. I mean, it's Granada, so it's like 6 hours down the road. But I might want to go one day.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
well, I'm never going to find out where it is because I can't. I literally can't read the email.
Can't read the email.
These things changing because it's dynamic. It changes. Whatever is more popular it will change again. That already bothers me.
Oh, that'll change
Anything
live,
that
will
I
it? That's
have
going to change in
is
front of your
changing
eyes.
live. I think so
Oh,
because it's
okay.
been happening. So
Yeah.
anything. So basically, you cannot have anything that animates without giving people control on the animation. I have to be able to stop it. I have actually reduced motion activated in my browser, but unless people code it in, it's a CSS thing that people need to code in. But even if the motion is reduced, if I have no control over it, it will still make me sick. You know, I can show you an animation that doesn't make me sick because it's
Well, yeah, that's good. That's good.
because it's so subtle. See here, the dog and these are so subtle. I can't say that this bothers me. So
Okay.
I actually designed a website with some animations, but again, they're so. So, for instance, this is wrong, and I told them this is not my fault, but this is not right. We will assume that you're happy with it. Wrong. Anyway, they're lovely people.
Yeah.
You see that animation that you had at the beginning. I don't mind it because it stops. That's it, done. And it's the patron and the composer meeting, so that's fine. It's nice. And then here,
it's very subtle.
There's an arrow going down that has a very tiny movement that tells me it's interactive. So that's fine. I'm all right with it. When I go down, there are a few other like this animation here.
Very
and it's so subtle.
But it's not doing anything once you let go, is it? Yeah.
It's just stop. And here again, as I go down, there are other animations that come up, and they're all really, really subtle. And this was done by Mylen Garcia, who's a wonderful Elementor specialist this is a website created in Elementor from the Spanish community. So thank you, Mylan. And even this tiny animation in the buttons, the buttons have another animation, which is really just a hover effect. So that's fine. You can do that. But anything else that I can't control absolutely makes me sick. And every single website that gets an award from the awards website,
the Webbies,
from other the Webbies, they're all, in fact, I use those examples randomly selected. Literally, I swear to God, I randomly selected 2 websites from the Webbies, and they were both completely inaccessible. I had Lazar, my friend that I mentioned earlier, who's blind, test them. They were like, I have no idea what's in this site. And one of them was the Getty it was Mesopotamia. This is the one. So looks beautiful. Basically, it's a website that says Mesopotamia. It's what we're seeing is a black screen with big white type on it, saying Mesopotamia is the big title. An intimate look at some extraordinary objects for an exhibition at the Getty Villa. And he won the Webby for architecture. It's all on scroll, and basically goes over what's in this museum room, and it has images and captions for them, and it's like totally blank for a screen reader. Nothing. So my point was, why not just do a video instead? Because you can make a video accessible.
Yeah, it's somebody in that case trying to be really clever. It is very clever, but it's also, like you just said, infuriating if you can't actually use it.
Exactly. And I think that the reason why this is not a video is that if they'd done a video, it would have been, the educational value would have been much higher, but they would not have won an award.
Right.
Because This wins an award because it's at the forefront of web development, but as a video, it would not have won an award. So the agency who was asked to do it said, let's do
win the
a,
award.
yeah. And I know it sounds really harsh, but you cannot, in 2023, people, you can't spend all this money on this, on an educational piece, and it's completely inaccessible.
Yeah.
It's just, can you imagine
Yeah,
how would you
yeah.
do
I
that?
don't
Would
even
you
know what you'd be
shut the
looking at
door
here.
in the,
Yep.
you know, it's just wrong. So I like to make these examples because people need to know. We all need to become aware. I didn't used to be aware. I didn't used to. I was a bit of a dick as well. And now I'm not, because now I'm aware and I put myself in the shoes of Lazar, who can't see at all, nothing, never has.
I
So
think
he's
it's
quite happy with, but you know, I need to.
it's kind of like a nerdy experience, isn't it? It's very, very clever, and you can see that it's clever. But if it's ruling out a significant proportion of the population, like you
Yeah,
can see even that when it tilts. So there's a picture of a lion embedded in a wall, and when that tilts, it is a different image. It's not the same image being manipulated by CSS.
yeah, it's not.
So look at that. That is different from the image we had a minute ago because you can see the shadows.
It's a different image. It's like a
It's like a
3D
video.
effect.
It's like you're scrolling through a video frame by
It's
frame, basically. You are swiping through a
it's
video.
that's the thing that actually infuriated me, because if it were really clever and truly interactive, that would be something that I understand. But once you've visited this site a few times, you realize that actually the only thing that you're doing is just scrolling down. That's it. Look at me scrolling down. That's it.
Yeah,
It's
scrolling
not,
down and
I
altering
can't
the.
go
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
else
yeah,
on the
yeah,
image. It's
yeah,
all predetermined anyway.
yeah,
So why would you do this and shut people out?
yeah.
And I think that you could say, I always like to not presume, not assume malice. I like that. I think it's fair enough. We need to give people the benefit of the doubt. I do not like pointing fingers or anything like that. But if you are a major educational institution, you have to be thinking about these things. You should have done by now. And if you
Yeah,
haven't, you need to start thinking about it. I
I
was
would
really
agree.
surprised,
Yeah,
because in a way, and I literally went onto the web and went for the first two sites that I found, the first two sites. And because I was like, I can't be looking for them. It has to be a natural experience, because it's my point. I've been saying it for years, and it's the Webby and the awards website, the one with the three W's.
yeah. I know the one you
And
mean.
I've
Yeah,
been saying it for years, and that any site on there that wins an award is inaccessible or unusable, which often is the same thing, both, you know. And they always are. And I still have not found one that is accessible. Yeah, I haven't, because it's this equation between animation and creativity, and that's my focus now, Nathan. I'll have you know, and
is
that's what the UX Copenhagen talk was about. My point was, your animations, your gifs and your animations are literally making me sick. That was the first point. And the second point was, can we be creative? Why are we at the moment equating a creativity with animation?
yeah,
That's clearly what is going on, because the only sites that get awards are the unusable, inaccessible ones on the Webby and awards websites. They keep getting all the awards, and I can't use them, and lots more people can use them, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Good point.
So
So
why are we
Picture's mission in
making this equation?
2023 is to highlight more of this deceptive design. I should say the website that we were looking at earlier is deceptive.design.
Yes,
https
this one
deceptive
isn't it
design.
though,
This
what we're
isn't it.
looking at now.
This is
No.
not it. There we go. Thank you, Piccia. Let me. Oh,
Well,
wait a
isn't
sec.
it?
There we go. Right, let me take that away. I made you go away for a second. I'm not very good with this platform this week. I've been using this for years,
I know,
and
you're
for
usually
reasons
quite
on.
the whiz.
Well, I set it up and it just works. But today I decided I was going to fiddle around a little bit. I guess we'll try and do this in a month, but probably be back in like November or something.
Well,
Something
in a
like
month
that.
it's exactly WordCamp Europe, isn't it?
Is it? You're going, I
It
guess.
is. I am going because I am going as the correspondent for Master WP. I'm going as a journalist this time.
What have you got to do? Do you know?
I have to write 2 pieces.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
very nice. Also,
very
they
nice.
pay.
Yeah,
Master
yeah.
WP pay. So that's really
Woohoo!
nice. It's
Woohoo!
an actual assignment. I'm on assignment.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
going, I guess.
I
You'll
don't
be
know
going.
yet. I haven't quite made up my mind yet. There's just lots of things going
We can't
on.
do it without you,
We have
Nathan.
family and exams and things like that, so it's a difficult time. But we'll
Okay, I
see.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because exams are brutal.
It is
Anyway,
tricky.
we've been,
Yeah, we've overshot. So
we
we
definitely
can carry on
overshot.
talking in a moment, but
Yeah.
we'll knock it on the head. I'll put this episode out onto the YouTube channel, and we will see you again soon, Piccia.
Thank you very much. It's always so much fun.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.